What up, my dude-arinos? Welcome back to Duty's Daggers, and we have a pretty fun cut test video up for you today because we're gonna do some pretty tough testing on this Vosteed Raccoon. So this is Vosteed's first button lock, and it was discovered a couple months back now that their plunge lock button lock system fails very easily. If you whack the spine of the blade on any object, any hard object, the lock in most cases will fail. It will the blade will start closing on you. Now I would say the large majority of the Raccoons had this problem, not all of them. This one here, as you'll see, is one of the ones that fails though. But I still want to do some basic cut testing with it, and then we're going to do a little bit of batoning, and I also want to see how much weight I can hang off of the handle before the plunge lock fails. Now really the issue here has to do with the interface between the tang, there you can see how easily it disengages. Barely just tap it. There you go. So the problem here is the interface between the plunge lock and the tang of the blade. Where that plunge lock rubs up against the tang, it's at quite an angle. Whereas on most button locks, it's still at a little bit of an angle because it has to be able to slide up onto the tang, but this is a pretty severe angle, meaning when you put any amount of pressure, the plunge lock slides open and the blade can close. So let's just do some basic tests here first. Let's try the strap. I got this Raccoon used, very cheap. That's why I'm being hard on it, and I don't really mind. And not quite through the strap, about halfway, a little over halfway. I never bought this knife when it first came out. It was kind of a hype knife for a while before it was discovered that the lock kind of sucked. And still to this day, I mean, I guess a lot of people just don't really care about that. And honestly, I had mixed feelings about it at first. Everyone started spine whacking all of their button locks, and some were failing, a lot weren't. And while I do think that if you have to put any amount of significant force behind your whacks and it fails, there's a certain point where you're just doing something to the knife that's not supposed to be done to it. However, with this Raccoon here, it fails so easily with such a light tap that it is absolutely a big problem. Absolutely. Also, we don't have much of an edge left after the rope. You see, it went through the rope actually pretty well. I was surprised to see that. It has decent cutting geometry. And to be honest with you, I overall like the knife. There's a few things I don't like about it, but overall, I think it's a pretty good knife if it had a better lock that didn't fail. Let's cut some cardboard. Pretty easy. Like I said, it's got pretty good cutting geometry. Got a nice choke up spot. I like that the button itself is kind of flush with the surface of the scale. It's not poking out very much at all. I love Vosteed's pocket clips. As far as the action, it's okay. I do prefer the CGRB Pyrite over this though, which is kind of its competitor. They're both thumb stud operated button locks around the same size with choke up spots, so pretty comparable there. And I prefer the action on the Pyrite a bit more. Doing some utility cuts. Wasn't really doing well. I had to really lift up all the way up to get to the very tip to get a good utility cut. You can see right there, I finally was able to get a good one. Alright, so let's test this thing out. I have it rigged up to this piece of pipe that's actually welded down, so it's not going anywhere. Vice grips clamping the blade onto that piece of 2x2 tubing, And I think I'm just going to hang some weights off of it and see if the lock fails. You know, we know that with a jolt it will fail, but will it fail with just weight hanging off of it? No kind of jolt or whack. So this is just like, I don't know, 2-3 foot long section of rope I'm hanging off of it. It's pretty heavy, and it's holding up. It's not failing. We're not getting too scientific here. I don't know exactly how much this stuff weighs. I have 2 C-clamps and a vice grip clamp on the chain now, and I'm going to hang that off of it. It isn't that heavy, but, you know, it's pretty heavy. Most locks, I feel like, should not be able to fail with this amount of weight hanging off of it. See, there are 2 C-clamps and a vice grip clamp. And there, I swung it slightly and it failed. And it's still locking up. So just kind of what I thought. That ramp on the tang of the blade, if there's enough pressure, that plunge lock just, it slips up that and opens the blade. So not a whole lot of pressure, and that lock is bye-bye. But it didn't break because check it out. It still works fine. So it's just, yeah, like I said, that geometry between the plunge lock and the tang is just not good. You can see just a little small tap and we're failing. So conclusion, you can get away with your normal day-to-day tasks with this knife, probably without it closing on you. However, I would rather not take that risk. You know, knowing that the lock can fail that easily, it would just always be in the back of my mind as I'm using the knife. Is it going to close on me? Is today going to be the day that I cut my finger with this knife? So while yes, it probably won't fail on you day to day, it's just not worth the risk. It's really not. You know, I would be curious to do this test with some of Vosteed's newer button locks. Maybe they have fixed the issue. I don't know. But anyways, thanks for watching. There it is, the Vosteed Raccoon. Thanks for watching, dudes. Please like the video before you bounce out, and I will see you in the next one. Adios, dudes.